Hi, this is Will Shao, real estate agent in the Greater Boston area. Today, I want to share with you the three options you have when it comes to housing. So, I believe when you're looking to find a place to live, there's really only three options you have to consider. So, we'll go through each one of them. The first one is renting. Second one is buying or owning your home, and the third one is being homeless. So, to go through the pros and cons of each one, and there's actually a secret fourth option we'll get to at the end. So, when it comes to renting, there's pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages of renting. So I'll go through a few of those things. So when it comes to renting, you have a lot of flexibility and mobility. Most people, if they're renting, you're looking to rent a place for a couple months, up to 6 months to a year. So after your lease is up, you can move on. You don't have to continue renting unless you want to stay in that place. So that provides a lot of flexibility, mobility. That's a benefit of renting. Financially, it's a low commitment. You pay your first, last security, and also a broker's fee to find a rental. It's not a lot of money up front compared to the other options you have on the list, which is buying a house. So that's a benefit when it comes to renting. Another one is when it comes to maintenance, typically as a renter or a tenant, your landlord will take care of a lot of maintenance issues. So if your heater breaks down or you got a roof that's leaking or something that's happening, your landlord typically is going to be the one involved in getting that fixed. You just call your landlord, and typically they're going to be setting it up to have someone come out to take a look at the problem. So from a renting perspective, it provides a lot of mobility, flexibility. Financially, it's not as costly as buying a house. So those are some of the benefits of being a renter or renting as a housing option. Let's talk about some of the drawbacks or disadvantages. So when you're renting, there could be a lot of restrictions. You may not be allowed to have certain pets in the residence. When it comes to decorating the place, you may need to get permission to paint or do any renovations to the home. These things are just, it comes along with renting. You may not be able to customize the space to your liking, if you will. Also, financially, you're not in control of rent increases. So if your landlord decides they want to increase the rent, they can increase the rent, and then it's up to you to decide if you want to continue renting and pay more to rent the same space, or try to find another space for less, or maybe around the same price even. So those are some drawbacks when it comes to renting. You kind of have less ability to control your finances, and then also when it comes to making the space a home, you may be limited in that capacity. So let's talk about your second option. Your second option when it comes to housing is to buy a place or own your home. So some benefits of owning your own place is you have less restrictions. So if you want to make that renovation, you want to customize the space to your liking, you have that ability to change it up. You have the ability to paint, to decorate the space, and you don't really need to check with anybody to make some of those changes typically. And also pets. If you want to own a pet, you have less restrictions than owning a pet. You don't have to have a landlord's approval for that at all. So another thing is you own an appreciating asset. The great thing about real estate or owning a property is if it comes with land is limited. You think about it, the world only has a certain amount of land. And just think about, the country we live in, how amazing it is we get to be able to purchase or own a piece of that land. There are other parts of the world where people are still fighting and killing each other for this asset that you get to own outright if you want to purchase it. It's pretty amazing, I think. And then you get to control your monthly payments. So if you get a fixed rate mortgage, typically your payments will be pretty set. Property taxes will go up. You may have, if you own a condo or have an HOA, those fees may go up as well. And then insurance will also probably go up, year after year, but it typically won't jump, extreme amounts. Let's say if you're renting, landlord could increase the rent, by, 20, 30, 40, even 50%. They want to, sometimes doubling it in extreme cases. So from a financial perspective, it's a little more, stable or controlled than renting. There's also tax benefits. A lot of people might not know this, but there are deductions you can take as a homeowner where your mortgage interest can be written off for a portion amount, and then also taxes. Property taxes can also be deducted as well. So these are things you want to check with your CPA or tax accountant for, but there's some benefits to owning a home financially. Some of the drawbacks to owning a home. So it's kind of the opposite of renting. So renting provides flexibility and mobility. You can kind of pick up and move whenever your lease is up. When you own a property, you're a little held back from that. It's harder to make the move because there is a larger financial commitment up front. So when it comes to down payment, closing costs, all that, there's a larger financial commitment. Also maintenance costs. So if anything breaks down, your water heater breaks down, heating system breaks down, the roof is leaking, needs to be repaired. These are all costs that will be on you as a homeowner to have to come up with the money to then get the repairs done. So those are just some of the drawbacks to owning a property. So I've presented there's really two options: renting, owning. I provide a third option, which is being homeless. It's a real option. You can choose to be homeless. I don't think I need to get into the pros and cons of being homeless. I think we all know what that would be. But I want to talk about the fourth option. This is a kind of a secret option. And some of us, we have that ability. So I want to talk about it. It means, so the fourth option is living with your parents. So if you have the means to live with your parents, this may be a great option to think about. Let's talk about the pros and cons a little bit. The pro is that you don't have to worry about, paying rent. You don't have to worry about a huge financial commitment in buying a house. You typically can save up faster. So their financial savings is, increased in that sense. Some parents may, they may ask you to pay some rent or pay something towards utilities, but generally it's still going to be a lot less than if you're renting or you own a place outright. So that's a benefit. The cons, I don't really think I need to talk about the cons of living with your parents, but definitely that is potentially a drawback of living with the parents. And another thing is, depending on where your parents live or where you're living, the location may not be ideal. You may want to be, in a different location, but if your parents own a home in a space that, may be a little further away than you'd like to be, you might be restricted in the location that you're living in. Also, the social challenges of living with the parents it's a huge drawback as well. So those are really your options when it comes to housing. I mean, if you have other options, definitely, share them with me. I'd love to hear them. But in my experience, these are generally the options people think about. There are some house hacking tips and things that you could think about as well. I can talk about that in the next video. But I just want to share with you some of the options when it comes to housing. So when you're making a decision on where to live and what to do, it might be good to think about some of these options and find out what's best for you. If you need to talk more in detail about your specific situation, I'm happy to talk. Just give me a call or shoot me an email, and I'm happy to chat with you. Okay. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.